Hello, Professor One. Here is my new presentation. First of all, just to give you a little background of what I wanted to talk about uh, was the income distribution of China. One of the most important developing countries in our world today is China, and there's a surge in productivity with many significant effects on the country as a whole. And there's both positives and negatives that we can see in the economy. And there's three different types of things that I'd really like to touch on. One being income disparity between the rich and the poor. Two being the labor and the urbanization, and also the educational gap. So, first of all, the income disparity. Starting in the early 1970s, economic disparity between the rich and the poor was significant, and there was a large economic reform, and the policy was finally initiated. And during 1970, the income distribution was widened, and um, one of the main aspects that was necessary um, for finding the income disparity was the Gini coefficient, which showed kind of the potential social destabilization in the country. And one of a main point and perspective that you can see, one of the graphs that I show in my presentation, is this rising inequality between the national, the rural, and the urban areas. Um, and in terms of addressing it, there's some very important aspects that the government uh, can do in order to address it. The first thing is that they're very aware of this income distribution. So what they want to do is they want to improve the systems in healthcare, construction of low-income housing, new central and local government funding, 9 years of free education for children, and there needs to be some change in the fiscal policy and property and income earned from capital gains in the real estate stocks. Uh, in terms of labor and urbanization, labor is one of the most important factors. This is my second topic in China. And there's been many significant changes. First of all, total unemployment has increased over the past 2 decades. Um, Rural employment has also fluctuated, uh, and one important aspect of the income growth of the labor and the urbanization is you can see in one of the graphs that I have in my presentation, the disposable income rose 7.8% in 2010, and what this shows is there's positives for the Chinese economy, but what it also shows is that there's also a lot of corruption in the government, and people taking advantage of their power and having more money. And you can see this in the graph in terms of the top 10% being 63.7% and the lower end being 36.8%. Lastly, the educational gap has been very important in China. Higher education is needed to address the problem. What they're doing is trying to provide children with universal access, and each child to receive equal education, as well as bringing in new teachers to the rural areas is also very important in order to help the government increase as well. So just in conclusion, if China is able to address these problems, then they will be able to have a stronger country, and in the end, an infrastructure that can affect the whole world.